Pair absolute value with inequalities and things can get really confusing really fast. Well, not to worry. Stay tuned. Welcome to Math Bytes. I'm Allison, and today we're working with absolute value inequalities. If I write the absolute value of x is less than 4, what does that mean? Now don't forget, we can interpret absolute value as distance. So that means all the numbers that are less than 4 units away from 0. So that's all the numbers between 0 and 4, but also all the numbers between 0 and -4. Even though they're on the negative side, they're still less than 4 units from 0. As an inequality, that would be -4 is less than x, which is less than 4. Okay, if I write the absolute value of x is greater than 4, what does that mean? That means all the numbers that are more than 4 units away from 0. So that's all the numbers from 4 and up, and all the numbers from -4 down. So as an inequality, that gives us -4 is greater than x, or x is greater than 4. That leads us to the following property. For a variable expression e and a non-negative number k, the absolute value of e is less than k if and only if -k is less than e, which is less than k, and the absolute value of e is greater than k if and only if, IFF is shorthand for if and only if, e is less than -k or e is greater than k. Now note, this property also holds up if we have less than or equal to and greater than or equal to signs, so it still stays the same. Now, are you confused? Let's do an example. Okay, let's take a look at an example. We have the absolute value of 3x minus 2 is less than 4. Now, remember what our property says. So this means that -4 is less than 3x minus 2, which is less than 4. So I'm going to break this up so that we have -4 is less than 3x minus 2, and 3x minus 2 is less than 4. Now, it's just some algebra. So I'm going to add 2 to both sides here. So I get -4 plus 2 is less than 3x minus 2 plus 2, and 3x minus 2 plus 2 is less than 4 plus 2. That leaves me with -2 is less than 3x, and 3x is less than 6. I'm going to multiply everything by 1/3 to get rid of that 3 in front of the x. So I have 1/3 times -2 is less than 3x times 1/3, and 3x times 1/3 is less than 6 times 1/3. And simplifying, that leaves me with -2/3 is less than x, and x is less than 2. I can put this back together, and I have -2/3 is less than x, which is less than 2. Now then, once you've used that property to remove the absolute value symbol, all you're left with is a compound inequality and some algebra to do. So as long as you get that first step right of dealing with the absolute value symbol correctly, then you're just down to solving a compound inequality. Okay, let's do another example. We have the absolute value of 2x plus 5 is greater than 3. All right, now, according to our property, that means that 2x plus 5 is less than -3, or 2x plus 5 is greater than 3. Okay, now we're down to the algebra. So I'm going to subtract 5 all around, and I get 2x plus 5 minus 5 is less than -3 minus 5, or 2x plus 5 minus 5 is greater than 3 minus 5. Simplifying, that gives me 2x is less than -8, or 2x is greater than -2. Multiplying all around by 1/2 to get rid of the 2 in front of the x, I get 1/2 times 2x is less than -8 times 1/2, or 1/2 times 2x is greater than -2 times 1/2. And simplifying some more, that leaves me with x is less than -4, or x is greater than -1. Again, all you have to do is use that property to deal with your absolute value symbol. Get it out of the way. And now you've got yourself a compound inequality and some delightful algebra to go through. Let me give you one more thing to think about here. What if I have the absolute value of x minus 8 is greater than or equal to 0? I can tell you without doing anything that the answer to this is all real numbers. How do I know that? Absolute values are always non-negative, meaning they're always positive or equal to 0. The inequality states that the absolute value is greater than or equal to 0. So there isn't any value you can put in there for x that will make that untrue. But use our absolute value property and prove that to yourself. That's it for this episode of Math Bytes. If you like our videos, please subscribe to our channel. And if you have something you'd like to ask us or a topic you'd like us to discuss, why don't you send us an email? We're at contactmathbytes@gmail.com, and we will see you next time.